And I think all of us here live at a unique time in the world of art and creativity, which is that like you can find a degree of success that is manageable, where you are celebrated by your audience, and that audience can be something much smaller, much more specific. I talk about a collaboration I did recently with these dudes who have a YouTube channel, and it's only about retro video games. Like, what a crazy, subtle, tiny little niche, but like, I'm a product of like the 80s and 90s. I fucking love Nintendo, man. And I linked up with these guys, and like, they have a great audience. They built a career. They sell a coffee table book. And they're interested in one tiny little subject that is for nerds from the 90s like me. So I think that's an amazing thing. And me now is how I balance it is I just don't. I justify not working because I gotta go run another 1,000 miles by myself, listen to some book on tape. It was much harder when I was doing my daily vlog. And trying to figure out how to stay healthy and stay on top of all that stuff. I don't know how I did it back then. I think it was like, back then, when I started my daily vlog, it started on March 25th of 2015. That August of 2015, I was $200,000 in debt. So I had...
Wait a minute, somebody lent you that?
Credit cards.
Oh man, you gotta teach me how to get some credit cards.
Because I made a good living up until then directing TV commercials, but I stopped earning because I was doing... I started my tech company. So like, I was definitely more broke when I was a teenager and had nothing. I was making $400 a week washing dishes and I was like having to get money from the state. I didn't have access to, but I had credit cards. So I was negative, my net worth was negative $200,000. I used to make excuses for Candace every month about why I couldn't come up with my half of the rent. So the idea of like taking it easy or watching War of the Worlds instead of working that day just didn't occur to me. It was not an option. It was do it all, because that's your only path out of this fucking hole you dug for yourself. Or get married. Or it's over. And that is a really strong motivator. So like, I don't know how I balance things, but necessity is absolutely the mother of success. Like if you don't have to, you're probably not good. So finding that have to, finding that reason, I think is a really powerful, really understated aspect of succeeding in any capacity in life.
I guess I'll have like one more sort of YouTube question, and I think we can take some of the audience. Okay, cool. So my last question is about Mr. Beast, because you know, he has more viewers than God, and he's huge and everywhere. So I subscribe to a really great Substack. It's called Garbage Day. Ryan Broderick, who used to be at BuzzFeed, writes it. But he wrote an interesting article recently about Mr. Beast in particular. Because he just did this video about like building these wells in Africa. And a lot of what he does is like he gets a large sum of money and he gives it away or does some sort of big stunt. And no matter how much good he's doing, there is always like a group of people who are like, I don't know, man, he's just weird. And he tried to distill why people felt that he was weird. And so Ryan Broderick's hypothesis was that he is viral for viral's sake. That people don't really understand what the virality is for, or like if there is any other goal besides just go viral. I think a lot of times, and maybe people don't even use that language anymore because viral seems so like, there are niches on TikTok. There are a million of people with 1 million followers. What is viral? But when people ask you, because I know you get this question, how do you go viral? Does it even occur to you anymore? Like, do you care about like hitting specific numbers?
No, I don't give a shit. I did, but I don't. Like that's why I talked about that example of like the video I made about the floods in New York, a mediocre C+ of a video, and it was the most watched video I'll have posted this year. Nowhere near the work on the most profit. The correlation between qualitative success and quantitative success on YouTube, I think there's a huge disconnect. But here's why I love Mr. Beast and why I will defend him till the end of time. His mission has always been to win on YouTube. His mission has never been to be the most respected artist, to be the most inspiring individual, to change the world by communicating his message. Like, here's a guy, when he was a kid, the only thing he had was like a really shitty webcam. And if every one of us in this room was to be given a shitty webcam and told to come up with a video like it's 20 million views, every one of us would fail. There's just no way to do it. And he sat in front of that webcam and counted to like 10,000. And the video was watch me count to 10,000. It took like 40 hours. 1, 2, There are no cuts. The video went viral. There's no creativity in that. There's nothing inspired. But it's like, wow, like this is, I need to watch it to see if he actually did it. I'm gonna skip through it. Like, he had that in it. And what he does now is he's scaled that to such a preposterous level. I mean, his teams of brilliant people around him that are like, how do we make a video that does another 200 million views? And it's like, okay, let's get 10 of the world's most expensive yachts. We're gonna need Tom Brady for this one and Justin Timberlake over here. And we're gonna fly in on a helicopter and we're gonna give away $1 million at the end to the pizza delivery guy. Go. And like, they're not stopping being like, how can we change the world or how can we affect culture? That is their stated goal.
Yeah.
And I think there's beauty in that, and I appreciate it for its honesty. What frustrates me are people who are out there being like, I just want to inspire the world and make a difference, and their only objective is to get views, because they're fucking frauds. Like, be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest. Like, if you're trying to make work,
views,
yes. If you just want the views, God bless. Get in line. Good luck. I don't care. But he's honest about it. He's always been honest about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd give a shit, or anybody would give a shit, but he did it. Like, he did it on a level that is unfathomable. Like, the best example I give is back in the day when they started YouTube Originals, which has since been killed.
Yeah.
I met with the head of it, Suzanne Daniels. They're like, our goal is to do what no one's done before, to create an episodic on YouTube that does 10 million views or 15 million views every upload. That was their goal, making tens of millions of dollars out of it. Jimmy's doing 200 million an upload. He's just a guy in North Carolina who figured it out. I don't really get his videos. I don't watch them. I don't, but I celebrate what he's done for its honesty. Just like I celebrate when I find a person who's got like 37 views on a video, and I watch it and I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah.
I appreciate this individual for doing their thing, because clearly this video was not made for views. I appreciate that, and I appreciate him. It's that mush in the middle. It's those fakers in the middle who are just trying to do it because they want to be famous, or they want to be loved, or they want to be liked. So they make whatever garbage they think will get the most views. That I don't give a fuck about. I don't have time for that. But he's not that, and the creative's not that, and you're not that. And I hope none of you are that. I can't imagine any of you are. You wouldn't be here listening to us go on about what babble we're yapping about.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
Are we
and we are going to take a few questions from the audience. We have a few more minutes left, so thank you all for listening. Okay, we'll just have to yell. Okay, I'm calling on you right here because I saw your hand first.
Hello, Casey. I've been watching your videos for a long time, since you started. So the question that I wanted to ask you for a long time is that how do you feel the last time the last time in New York when you have to move to Los Angeles, right?
Oh yeah.
Sure. So the question was, how did I feel moving to LA?
I know how much you love New York.
Yeah, so like, look, we moved to Los Angeles 4 years ago for family reasons. All of my wife's family, my family was out there. We thought it was time for a change. And then just failed miserably. It just didn't work for us. But as it pertains to me as a creative, I think I underestimated how much creative inspiration I took from my environment. Like, New York City for me is so much more than a home. It's like, we talk about that idea of interestingness. Like, I can step outside right now and write 10 YouTube videos before you get in the block.
Yeah.
And that's not everybody, but that's how I feel about New York City. So when I moved to California, among the myriad other things that, like, the place just wasn't a good fit for me or my family, that was the singular thing I missed the most. And when I get back to New York, it's like all my notebooks are filled up with ideas. It's like, I can't step outside without seeing something like, how come nobody's told that story yet? Like, why hasn't anybody done that? Like, this is preposterous, but in my 1,200 videos on YouTube, my 4 billion views, the most watched video I've ever made was a 15-second cell phone clip I posted on TikTok a few weeks ago with no cuts, no edits, no color correction, no nothing. Where I was walking down the street and I felt a soft spot on the sidewalk. I took my cell phone and pushed down and the hole fell out underneath my foot. You could see like 100 feet into the, like, the dregs of New York. And I posted that and like 100 million views later, I'm like, see, this city's fascinating.
Yeah.
So that's what I missed in Los Angeles. Great question. As the moderator, try to go boy, girl. We're trying to mix it up a little.
Yeah, okay.
I know we're a little X chromosome
Who the
heavy
ladies
here,
at?
but
Yeah. We got,
Any
oh, right,
lady
here's one
questions?
right here. Let's hear it. Let's do it.
ask you, what was that shot during the Lulu commercial that they were celebrating about? Because I love that.
Okay, so the question was, what was the shot in the Lululemon commercial? Which, by the way, it's a great commercial.
It's so good.
If you want to know how to, why commercial directors are so celebrated in their field, trying to do anything in 30 seconds, we're here, your job is to sell pants. You have 30 seconds to do it. And by the way, it better be creative and interesting. That is a hard assignment, and that commercial is fantastic. So the opening shot is this crazy wide shot where there's a dude in the foreground, he watches me go by on a skateboard in the background. That was not in the shot list. That was not in the storyboard. But we're shooting there, and the director was like, we need a wide. And how it works, just to get into the specifics, is my contract was to film for 6 hours. We're 7.5 hours. And the director corners me and he's like, hey man, I want this shot, but we're way over. I'm like, dude, I'll stay here all night. And the client was like, pull Casey. And I grabbed my agent and I was like, go tell them no matter what, we will not ask for anything above the line. This is all because I want I want this film to be as good as possible. And that was the shot. It was that one wide shot. And what's crazy is how much work they had to do in post because it was almost dark out. And the rest of that commercial was shot midday, bright sun. But it was just that really wide shot. It was so hard because we actually shot that in the streets of Vancouver. So police everywhere trying to stop traffic and trying to stop people from walking.
The ground was wet?
The ground was raining, and they had to make it match. So that was the shot, but it was the only time through the whole production where I got to be more than just the guy standing there waiting for them to be like, okay, Casey, go. And I was like, no, we're gonna make this happen. And I think the celebration was that we're supposed to do it, but we did it and it worked. And that's what everybody was celebrating.
All right. Oh, everybody has a question. Okay, I see one right up front.
Hi, Casey. Within the way that YouTube has evolved to what it is now in 2023, what are 3 steps you think that would lead to YouTube success?
So the question was, as much as YouTube has evolved into 2023, what are the 3 steps I would give for success? Just watch Mr. Beast do exactly what he does. No, I think I only have one tip, and it's the same terrible tip I've been giving forever because it's unsatisfying. But it's that if you're doing what everybody else is doing, you're going to fail from the onset. If you're going to try to be Mr. Beast, you're just going to be a terrible Mr. Beast because he already did it. You have to be your own person. You have to be your own voice. You have to find your own thing or you're not going to succeed. And if you do succeed, you're just going to be a second-rate whoever you're copying.
Right.
And I think that is so easy to say and it sounds weird. It's really hard to do. And I think the only way to find your own voice, find your own style, find your own thing is just to do it over and over and over and over. And eventually you'll get there. One other thing that I've come to appreciate is another really unsatisfying aspect of succeeding in anything, but certainly on YouTube, which is patience. Are you willing to do what you're doing right now for 10 straight years without one person saying you did a good job, without making one cent? If you're not, fucking quit today. Because that is the only way you might find success, is to run at something and not back off until you get what you're looking for. And that sucks, man. It sucks. It just sucks.
What? How do you make cash? How do you make views or cash? Oh, how do you monetize? Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah, get a day job. I'm fucking serious,
It's
man.
true.
You have a day job,
Until you
and
don't
then
do
you do that to pay for your YouTube habit.
Yeah.
YouTube is it's like a cool hobby that's expensive.
Yeah.
Find something else to pay for it. Only do it because you love it. If you're doing it because you think you're going to get money, quit immediately.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this guy?
You are not followed up. They're in the corner.
We have
Come
a
back
girl
to the follow-up.
situation, sir.
Yeah. All right. Wait. Who's the next girl? It's girl time. Way back there in the back. You got to yell. Yeah, you.